What's up, everyone? This is DJ Brian Jew, and you're listening to The Drive-In on TBS efm on this wonderful Tuesday morning. It's still cold outside. Not as cold as a few weeks ago, but it's still cold. And today's average temperature is supposed to be at exactly 0 degrees Celsius, which is exactly freezing. That's actually pretty warm, though, considering how cold it was here in Korea for the past few weeks. Even up to last week, it was freezing here in Korea. And today's song actually comes from a movie where it's about 4 recent movies about their superhero powers. And, you know, we all love these superhero movies. I love them all. And I'm talking about The Amazing Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko for Marvel comic books back in 1962. And he was supposed to be one of those, you know, those one-off characters in the Amazing Fantasy comic book series. But his story was so good, the one story was so popular, they decided to give him his own book. And since he was developed into the most popular of all Marvel characters. Yes, I didn't know that, but that's a fact. And in 2002, the movie's special effects technology was so great by then that Marvel decided to come out with a Spider-Man film directed by Sam Raimi. And it was so popular that 2 more Raimi Spider-Man films were made, and then the series was rebooted in 2012. Even though those films came out after the turn of the millennium, the most popular of all Spider-Man songs comes from a cartoon series that aired in 1967. And it's been covered by so many artists and groups. So today's version we're going to play for you right now is actually from the Canadian sensation himself, Michael Bublé. Check it out. Now today is day 2 of the Cheesy Movie Week for the scenes of the day. And today's scene comes from, I know what you're going to say, all you guys might have a different opinion, but Superman 4, yes, it's rated as a cheesy movie in our books. And you might remember the Superman film starring Christopher Reeve. And the first one was made in 1978 and basically kicked off the modern superhero film genre. It was a really great film that we can thank for getting people interested into the superheroes again. Yes, and all superhero films owe this film for their existence. Very true. And 2 years later, Superman 2 came out, and people were still very excited about this film, and of course Superman. And then Superman 3 came out in 1983, which is a critical misstep. Yes, people that thought that this would be remembered as the worst film in the series. But then in 1987, sorry about that, Superman 4 came out, and this is probably one of the worst superhero films ever made. Yes, I can't really say it's the worst ever, because of the 1990 Captain America film. Yes, remember that one? But this movie was doomed to fail from its beginning. First, it was not made by Warner Brothers. No, not like the first 3. Instead, it was made by Canon Films, which somehow gained the film rights for the character. Yes, and originally Christopher Reeve did not want to make this film. He thought that Superman had run his course, but Canon Films made him an offer he simply couldn't refuse. You know, we get in those kind of situations as actors and singers. You get an offer that you can't refuse. I'm not going to try to say it's only money. Anyways, the plot seemed like we might have a decent idea, but Canon Films did not have the budget to pull it off, and the result is a film that simply doesn't make sense at all. And during the film, many of the actors were trying to walk off the set because they knew that they were all making this despicable, horrible movie. And there's one good scene, though, where Superman addresses the United Nations in court, and he explains that he's going to try to save the world from itself. So, let's take a listen. So there you see the basic plot of the film. Superman wants to rid the Earth of all nuclear weapons. But wait a minute, Soups. Who made you police of the Earth? Huh? What right do you have to decide who can and can't have nukes? What's next? You know, you're going to decide for us what's okay to force us not to drink or smoke, and Superman can't do that. He's not like Obama. Anyways, the problem with this plot is that Lex Luthor broke out of jail and made an evil version of Superman called Nuclear Man. And Superman and Nuclear Man end up fighting, and they break the Great Wall of China during one of their fights. That's a little weird, isn't it? And there was originally supposed to be a scene where Superman rebuilt the Great Wall of China with a super speed, but since the studio ran out of money, he rebuilt it with a blue light that came out of his eyes. Yes. So basically the wall built itself. Anyways, people now jokingly call that the Wall of China Vision. Well, this movie was decidedly terrible, yes, but it had one saving grace. They used the original John Williams score for the film. So, here's the Superman theme. Check it out, y'all. Is that a plane? Is that a spaceship? Is that a human? Is that an alien? No, it's Superman! Yes, that was the Superman theme by John Williams. Yes. And coming up on today's show, it is Tuesday, so that means Jason Besservase will be joining me to talk about Korean films today, and that's after intermission, so please stay tuned for that. It's coming up very shortly. But before that, we got another song, and the next song request is from Ayuko. Yes. And she requested the 1980 French film La Bombe, and its English title is The Party or Ready for Love. And La Bombe is a big party where all the kids in school go to find someone to love. That is so sweet. Teenage love. I remember that. Teenage love is one of those young love situations where it's not really love. It's more of an infatuation because who knows who loves who when they're that young. You don't know you're going to marry that person when you're that young. Anyways, here's a song, Reality. I'm sorry. It's so cold here in the studio. By Richard Sanderson from the Bombe soundtrack. Once again, that was Richard Sanderson with Reality from the La Bombe soundtrack. Hey, right now we have another song request. I don't know why, but a lot of people will be watching some French films. There's another French film. And it's a 2001 film, Moulin Rouge, and the song was requested by Min. This movie starred Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. You know, this film is probably the film where I really gained a lot of appreciation for Ewan McGregor. I can't even say his name. Ewan McGregor as an actor, because I could see how versatile he was as an actor. And before this film, I've seen him in like Trainspotting and also Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And Trainspotting was good. Star Wars Episode 1 was terrible in my opinion. But in this film, I was really impressed to see that he could play a struggling writer who's looking for love in Bohemian-era France. Yes, and he's also a really great singer. I didn't know he can sing. A lot of these actors be coming out in these musical movies, and I never knew they can sing. And Ewan McGregor is one of those people, and I was really shocked. So here's Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman singing Come What May from the soundtrack of Moulin Rouge. Welcome back to The Drive-In, and right now it's time for K-Film Tuesdays with Jason B. And he's right now in the studio with me. What's up, Jason?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, a bit tired this morning, but
we're always tired.
It's the
here.
morning, I guess.
Yes,
so
the morning.
To be expected.
Exactly.
Rise and shine.
We're a little upset with you on Friday night.
I know. I'm really sorry I couldn't
Yes.
make it. Yeah, it was Brian's birthday party, and
Yes.
yeah, my wife came down with a bit of a bug, so
I understand.
I had to give her some
I can't prove that's true.
TLC, tender loving care.
Okay, I thought you were about their music group, you know. Don't go chasing waterfalls. But Eugene came.
But
Olivia
I was there
came.
in spirit, though.
Yes, you were. Eugene came with his wife. Olivia came as well. Don't worry, because Mrs. Pak PD didn't show up either, so. Yes, that's all good. I'll have another birthday next year. We got to wait a whole year for another birthday party, but.
You'll have to come to my birthday party, Brian. My birthday's coming up.
When's your birthday?
In March.
Okay, in March. I'll make sure I get sick in March. I'm just joking.
It's a
I'm
big
totally
birthday.
joking.
I'm 30 years old this year, so it's going to be a big one.
You're hitting the big 3-0.
Big 3-0. It's
Trust
depressing,
me,
right?
Right after the big 3-0, there's nothing to look forward to. Because then the big 4-0 is going to be around the corner. Then the big 5-0. How do you think Pak PD feels? She's probably like,
here come the insults.
She's probably like, I never want a birthday ever again. Yes. Because our PD, she looks 21, but she's not. But she looks 21. Yes. Do you agree with me, Jason?
Oh, yeah,
You're not
21,
responding
definitely.
at all.
No, I'm just looking at her in the studio.
She's cracking up. Anyways, we have to get to the more important things, which are what we're here to talk about, which is Korean films.
Yeah, Korean movies. I've picked a little bit of a different movie this week because Cloud Atlas is now showing in the cinema, directed by the Wachowski siblings and Tom Tykwer. And it stars Bae Duna, who's doing a first English-speaking role, so acting in a first English-speaking role. And so I thought, well, let's have a look at another movie starring another Korean big star, speaking very much in English. And so I picked Late Autumn Manchu. That's the Korean title. It's made in 2010, and it's directed by Kim Tae-young.
Okay.
And he's made a few interesting movies, The Birth of a Family, Gajoke Tanseng, and Memento Mori as well. And this movie stars Hyunbin. So Hyunbin is a kind of a Hallyu star now, I guess. He's just come out of the army, I think. And he made this movie just before he went into the army. And it's screened in the Berlin Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival, and also in Busan as well. So it did its kind of circuit on the film festival market. Also stars Tang Wei. Now, Tang Wei, of course, a big actress. She was in Lust, Caution, Ang Lee's movie that brought her to fame. And actually, I heard that Tang Wei and the director are dating, or were dating. So
at that time, or?
Well, I'm not sure if it was at that time, but there were some rumours circulating that they are dating. So that's an interesting kind of tabloid story there. Also stars Kim Jun-sung. In terms of the synopsis, it basically follows a woman who is imprisoned after killing her husband, and she's allowed to be released. On her way to Seattle, a man gets on the same bus, introducing himself as a fellow Korean. He borrows the bus fare from her and leaves his watch behind. And when the two meet again in Seattle, they feel an attachment to each other. So she's kind of released, I think, for a couple of days, and so she gets on this bus to Seattle. And it's kind of a melodrama, I guess, but it's a really, really, I guess, interesting film in terms of the aesthetic. I love the way this film is shot. And then, of course, you've got Hyunbin's English. Now, to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought his English pronunciation was pretty lame, unfortunately. And it kind of spoiled the film for me. I think he's a really talented actor, and I've liked him in other films like Come Rain and Can Shine, and of course that drama as well, Secret Garden. But I just felt that he struggled with the English, which just goes to show how difficult it is for many of these Korean actors or actresses to take on English roles. We saw with Jun Jian as well, and Bae-duna, and Lee Byung-hun as well, with the G.I. Joe, and I think he's done very, very well. But generally, it's quite difficult for Korean actors and actresses to take on English-speaking roles, because English is such a difficult language, not in terms of the grammar, but especially in terms of the pronunciation.
Well, I just think that if it's anybody in the acting field has to learn a language that you're not comfortable with, if it's not your first language, it's going to be difficult for everyone. Yeah, for me, if I had to do a movie with a British accent, I mean, I'd kill it, but...
Actually, your British accent's not too bad.
Thank you, because I've a lot of friends who say...
Here we go. I knew this was going to come out.
I have a lot of friends who say it sounds rubbish, but I try.
It's a bit of a cocktail of northern accent, London accent. It's all a bit kind of, blend into one.
But it's not like me trying to sound completely off. Like, I know a friend who tries to do a British accent, and he always sounds Indian.
Have you heard my American accent?
Can you speak with an American accent?
Here we go. Well, thank you for listening to me today. I am on the drive-in, and I'm actually from New York, but Eugene got his thumbs up. My American accent.
It was great.
But anyway, returning to this movie, it's actually a remake of a 1966 Korean movie directed by the legend Lee Man-hee. And this was the year where there were a couple of remakes. So The Housemaid was remade by Im Sang-soo. So it was good to see a kind of a remake made by this famous director, Kim Tae-young. And I think he did a pretty good job, aside from some of the kind of English pronunciation. And it's also co-produced between South Korea, Hong Kong, China, and the US. So, because you've got Tang Wei, who's a Chinese actress, and it was obviously shot in Seattle. And it can't be easy for a Korean director directing a movie in the States. And obviously you have to use different crews, and so it can't have been easy for him. But I think all credit to the director. He did an absolutely fantastic job putting together this film. I mean, it's a really, I think it's not overly melodramatic. I think the issue I have with some Korean melodramas is that they're just too sentimental, and, the music comes on and then the tears come rolling down, and I just can't stand that. But this movie is delicate. It's not overly dramatic. And, Tang Wei, she's, brilliant as the main actress. She plays Anna in this film, and I think Tang Wei is in some sense kind of in a league of her own in terms of her acting. She's a very, very talented actress. But Hyunbin, to his credit, he does well. I just think he struggled a little bit with the pronunciation. And this movie became the highest grossing Korean film to date in China, making 1 million admissions or so. So there
Holy
you go.
moly.
And so it's very, very impressive statistic. It's Chinese, it's success in China. So,
alrighty. Well, with that said, we have to listen to a song from the soundtrack. So, what song are we gonna listen to today?
We're going to listen to Manchu, the original soundtrack.
Now, I could totally see a scene with this song in the movie, a girl crying. You know, like typical Korean dramas or music videos.
Yeah, that kind of undermines what I was just saying, but I think it's. I'm not sure when this song comes out in the movie, but I imagine it was the credits. I don't remember it being overly sentimental.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see the
a
film,
little
so
bit more
really...
restrained than the conventional kind of Korean melodrama.
Alrighty.
But it stars Hyunbin, so he's always going to sing.
And of course, girls love Hyunbin. Hyunbin's a good guy, though. I've hung out with him a few times.
Oh, here we go. Every week you throw this in, like, I talk about, this Korean actor or Korean actress, and you're like, yeah, I've hung out with him or her a few times.
Well, speaking of which,
call me up
because
when...
we know Kim Yoon-jin and Seol Kyung-gu are two friends of mine. They both texted me on New Year's, and I was really happy that they got... I forgot to mention on the radio. She's back in LA right now. She'll be back maybe on Thursday. And she told me to come over for lunch. I was like, yay!
Well, when you next meet her, let me know.
Will do. But right now we got to talk about what's out this week in Korea.
Okay, well, there's no Korean films out this week.
Oh.
Owing to, I think, Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. Which, incidentally, I think is disappointing. But anyway, I'll give you a lowdown of what Korean films are out at the moment. My Little Hero is out, but it's not doing very well. Barely surpassed 100,000 missions on over 300 screens. Ooh. So I expect that to disappear fairly soon. It stars Kim Nae-ron from Sunflower, directed by Kim Sung-hoon. And it follows an ambitious musical director who becomes a musical mentor, and after conducting a blind audition, he's surprised to realise the one he chooses is a half Korean Filipino boy. I saw this over the weekend, and I wasn't overly impressed. But if you like kind of musical auditions and that kind of thing, definitely watch it. And then you've got the gangster shaman. Well, here we go. Baksu Gondal. Is that right?
Baksu Gondal, yep.
Yeah. This movie is doing very well, actually. Much better than I expected. It's now amassed over 1 million admissions, I think, which is really, really impressive. And it's directed by Jo Jin-gyu, who made My Wife is a Gangster, which is another very popular movie, but was received very poorly by critics. And so definitely recommend... Well, I haven't seen it, but it's popular, so perhaps check that out. Also, of course, is Cloud Atlas, starring Bae Dina, as we've been talking about. She stars in Take Care of My Cat, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and amongst others, and directed, like I say, by the Wachowski siblings and Tom Tykwer. Now, I won't say any more, because Eugene apparently is going to be talking about this movie on Wednesday. Oh, sorry, tomorrow.
And plus, I'm going to go see it either today or tomorrow, so you guys can't ruin it for me, guys.
So,
I haven't seen this yet. Eugene's giving me a weird look. Look at him. He's like, he's evil.
He liked the movie, he told me. So.
I know he liked the movie. I think I'm going to like it too, but I hate when people ruin a movie for me.
I liked it too, but some people have hated it.
I know. I've heard mixed reviews, but please don't ruin it for me, guys. I'll hate you guys
And
forever.
the ending is...
No!
No, well, I won't tell you the ending, don't worry.
All right.
And also out is The Tower, directed by Kim Ji-hoon, who made May 18th and Sector 7, starring Song Kyung-gu, Son Ye-jin, and Kim Sang-kyung. It's now made over 4 million admissions, and it's not bad, actually. I was expecting the worst.
I see this movie, but can you recommend a place where they have subtitles for this film?
I think CGV or CJ, who basically CGV Cinema, the distributor behind this movie.
Has subtitles?
Yes, they have subtitles. I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to say the name, but I have to say the name, otherwise you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I heard that if you check on, I think, the Korean Film Council's website, or go onto the that distributor's website, it will say Yonghwa Jamak, which is obviously Yonghwa English subtitles. So they were showing us with subtitles. I'm not sure if they're still showing it.
I have to see this because I promised him that I'd see it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I hated Sector 7. I thought Sector 7 was just dire. So I went in expecting the worst. And visually, this film is probably the most impressive in terms of its CGI I've ever seen in Korean cinemas. So definitely worth checking out. Then you've got Love 911 Banchanggo, directed by Jung Gi-hoon. This movie, I'm not going to say anything about this movie, but because I didn't like it. But it's doing very well. It surpassed 2 million missions. So there you go.
Wow.
Obviously, not everyone has my taste of films. So.
Sometimes I wish I sold 200 million singles. Or 2 million singles. Could you imagine how great that would feel to know that you sold 2 million singles just in South Korea alone? That's a dream of mine. Hopefully in 2013 that will happen. Let's hope.
Isn't it like 2 million downloads now rather than selling?
Pretty much. Yeah, downloads, but still they have to pay and download. I'm not talking about illegal downloads, which I believe a lot of people do out there, which I'm against. I'm paying download everything by paying for songs.
Good stuff.
Yes.
I'm an advocate for legal downloads as well.
Yes.
I've never illegally downloaded a movie ever.
Awesome.
So there you go.
See, Jason, you're the man. Eugene, on the other case, he's not. I think he illegal downloads
He's giving you this look now, like really puzzled and semi-guilty look.
Alrighty, well, now it's time for us to actually ask you to leave, but you're going to be back next week as well. And as you go, we have another song from a great soundtrack.
Yeah, this is from Cloud Atlas. Now, the music I think is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
It's great. It's a bit
all you're going to say. Don't
repetitive,
say anything
but-
more about the movie, just about
but
the music.
It's beautiful. Just sit back and relax.
Alright, guys, this is Cloud Atlas Sextet, and we're from the Cloud Atlas original soundtrack. And we'll say bye to Jason B for now, but we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Once again, this was Cloud Atlas Sextet from the Cloud Atlas soundtrack. And right now, it's time to end the show. I know you're thinking, you guys think this all the time, it's too soon. But stick around because we have 1013 Main Street with An Jung-hyun next, and she has a great show set up for you guys. But right now, we have a song request before I go. It's 3679 who requested the song from the 1995 film The Bridges of Madison County. And this is based on the best-selling novel by Robert James Waller. And it's a romantic drama that stars Clint Eastwood and Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, and this is Johnny Hartman singing I See Your Face Before Me. And this is Brian Ju signing it off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace!